Well, it's been a minute. I'm not back on trail yet. In fact, I'm home walking Carson, probably for the last time. Kathy and Maggie are taking me back to Harper's Ferry tomorrow, and I'll be getting back on trail to do the last 1,026 miles. So, I've kind of mixed feelings. On the one hand, I am very anxious to get back on trail. I'm looking forward to finishing it up and you know, being a true through hiker. On the other hand, it's really hard to leave the family again. You know, being home for not quite 2 weeks. I mean, I miss them on trail, but didn't really realize how much until I got home. And I'm going to be leaving again tomorrow. So, mixed feelings. Excitement to get back on trail, but also it's hard to leave again. But this is, come on Carson, this way. He smells something and he wants to explore it. This is the start of a new week. Not hiking today, but I will be hiking tomorrow. See you then. Well, the car is packed up. The pack is packed. And man, it was heavy putting it on after 2 weeks of not hiking. And we're just about ready to go to Harper's Ferry. Well, here I am once again. Just left the ATC Visitor Center. Said goodbye to Maggie and Kathy. Wasn't easy the first time, it's even harder this time. Having spent almost 2 weeks home. Not quite, but close. But the southern half of the ATO 8s. And as much as I am looking forward to it, I'm also looking forward to finishing so I can come home again. I know that sounds kind of strange to say since I'm just starting, but I am. I'm looking forward to the trail, but also looking forward to finishing the hike. (1,026 miles to go. See you later. Back in April, I headed to Jefferson Rock. This time around, heading to Loudon Heights. Well, I've been on trail for a couple miles now, and let me tell you something. 2 weeks off does not help the trail legs. Of course, the fact that I'm carrying a very full pack and it's hot and humid doesn't help. But even though the trail is very easy, my legs don't always do what I want them to do. That's okay, I will get my trail legs back. It's just a matter of time. Hopefully, not a very long time, because I should be cruising through trail like this, and I'm not. That's okay, it's only day one of the SOBO part of my hike. Many more days to come. Sometimes, when you're walking in the green tunnel, the only views that you get are when you come to cuts in the forest for pipelines or power lines. In this case, power lines. And the trail continues. Goodbye, West Virginia. Hello, Virginia. Going to be in Virginia quite a while. About a quarter of the AT is in Virginia. I'm about 3/10 of a mile away from the shelter where I'm going to stop. It is not where I intended to stop. I'm going to miss that mark by about 3.1, 3.2 miles. But today has been very, very hot, and I'm carrying a very, very full pack. But, oops, rocks. But the thing that basically did me in is my lack of trail legs. I know I'll get them back a lot quicker than when I started the hike. But today, my feet hurt and my legs are like jello. That's what happens when you haven't hiked for 2 weeks. So, give the legs a rest. Hopefully tomorrow will be a little bit better, and hopefully I'll get the trail legs back quickly. But that's it. Not the day I was hoping for, but not a bad day. Back on trail. And hopefully things will get better. See you tomorrow. I don't normally show shelters. Occasionally I do, but this one is pretty impressive. This is the David Lesser Memorial Shelter. And as you can see, it's quite an impressive shelter. Plenty of room. I can stand up, which I always like in a shelter. A sitting area and on a deck. This is the first time I've ever seen a shelter with a deck. Some have sitting areas, but certainly nothing quite like this. Cobblestones leading up to the shelter. Very impressive. And here you have the eating pavilion with a covered picnic table and a swing. And then you might be able to see it off in the distance. The latrine. And the water is about a quarter mile away on a trail leading down to the stream. But this is a very impressive shelter. So far I'm the only one here. It's a little after 5. Others may show up. But as you know, I stopped my day kind of early because first day back on the trail, my legs are like rubber and my feet hurt. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. But this is absolutely not a bad place to stop at all. Good morning. Second day on the trail, first full day back on the trail. You'll notice that I have my headlamp on. That's because I started hiking when it was still dark. The reason is today is supposed to be a scorcher. The predicted high is around 97 with the heat index in the triple digits. So I started hiking early, try to get as many miles in as possible before the heat kicks in. And it's probably going to be a short day. Because of the heat, and also because there are predicted storms coming in, and if I get to the shelter before those storms begin, I'll stay dry. So that's it for today. I'm going to be starting the Virginia roller coaster, which, as the name implies, is a series of ups and downs and ups and downs. Under ideal conditions, I would finish them all in one day, but as I said, it's going to be a short day. So the shelter that I'm going to stay at is basically in the middle of the roller coaster. So that's it for today. If there are any sights to see, I will certainly record them. But right now I've been in the green tunnel for a while, and I will probably continue to be in the green tunnel. To give you an idea of what the trail looks like, it is a bit Pennsylvania-esque with lots of rocks, but not difficult, not technical. Just have to watch where you put your feet to make sure you don't step on an ankle turner. Hello there, how are you? Entering the Virginia roller coaster. 14 miles of short but steep ups and downs. I'm only doing about half of it today and the other half tomorrow. I don't mind the downhills, but the uphills just still get to me, particularly since I don't have my trail legs yet. But I will get through it. These are the Raven Rocks, and that is the view from Raven Rocks. Very nice. View from Bear's Den Rocks. Staying in the shade because it is hot as blazes. Hello. I am at the shelter. This has been a grueling day. Now the terrain, though rocky and with the ups and downs, it wasn't bad terrain. I mean, I've saw worse in Pennsylvania and certainly in New Hampshire and Maine. What made it so difficult was the heat. I had to take frequent breaks just to try to cool off in the shade, drink some water. But the day is done. The temperature is supposed to moderate. It's supposed to be cooler tomorrow. Not significantly cooler, at least not on the first day. But still, I'll take it. Anything better than mid-90s is going to be good by me. So, today's done. I'm bushed. But looking forward to tomorrow. See you then. Good morning, everybody. Left shelter just under a mile ago. Rained last night, so I'm glad I stayed in the shelter. Hopefully that'll make it a little cooler today. I've got about 6 miles to go before I finish the roller coaster. That doesn't mean there won't be any climbs and descents, but it won't be the constant ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. Maybe I'll get a little cruisy stretch, which will be very, very nice. So it's going to be a little cooler today. By that I mean it's going to be in the mid-80s, which is a heck of a lot better than the mid-90s. But it's still going to be a warm day, so still taking it easy. Judging my distance by not only the terrain, but also the temperature. But a new day begins. Hard to believe. 1,000 miles to go. And after this step, less than 1,000 miles to go. Amazing. I can't believe that I've done what I've done so far. And 1,000 miles to go. Less than 1,000. And the trail continues. Well, I'm not going into the roller coaster. I have just finished it. Took me 2 days. Had originally intended to do it in one, but a combination of heat, mostly heat, just getting back on trail and not really having my trail legs, made it a little bit too much. But anyways, did it in two. That is done. And now on we go. I just came from this exposed section of trail to here. The difference in temperature is incredible. It is a warm day. It is a humid day. And even though it's not as bad as yesterday, when you're exposed to the sun, you feel every bit of it. When you're in the shade, it feels so much better. Have another exposed section up ahead. Hope it's not too long. I'm not staying in either one of those shelters. I just came down from the trail that way. You can see the white blaze. And that's where I'm going to be headed, to the shelter I'm staying at. To show you that there's kind of a bias for nobos. If I were a nobo heading in this direction, I would see that, telling me where the shelter is and how far off trail. But I'm a SOBO, and you'll note that there's nothing pointing me in that direction. Fortunately for me, the app that I use, Far Out, I knew that the trail was coming up. But that shows you the AT is definitely geared towards nobos. I'm heading to the shelter now, which is 0.3 miles off the trail. That's a lot farther than I generally like to go for a shelter. But it's 4.7 miles to the next shelter. If it were a cooler day, it's early enough, I would do it. But it's been a very hot day. Not as hot as yesterday, but hot enough. And I simply don't want to do 4.7 more miles. So this is day 3 for me. Still kind of taking it a little bit easy because of the heat. My legs are definitely feeling much better. I don't think I have my full trail legs back, but it's a heck of a lot better than day 1, where my feet hurt and my legs felt like rubber. Today, they feel pretty good. Could I do the extra miles? If it were cooler, yes. But we're going to call it a day. There weren't a lot of sights to show you. Lots of green tunnel. I did finish the Virginia roller coaster, which is always nice. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. See you then. Good morning, everybody. Much cooler this morning. We had a big rainstorm last night. I was happy to be in the shelter. Shelter was pretty full. When I got there, there were 2 other people. One of them being the ridge runner for the area. Then another hiker, a female hiker, came in. The ridge runner is doing his job, of course. The other two hikers were doing sections. In fact, the female hiker is getting off at Front Royal for a music festival this weekend. So good for her. As we were basically settling in for the evening and the rain was, just pouring down, two other very wet hikers, a male and a female, came in. Didn't catch whether they're doing a section or what have you. But yeah, they were just coming in to get out of the rain. So it was a fairly full shelter last night. Today's starting off pretty good. Hopefully it stays that way. All right, there was a split in the trail and had to make sure I'm going in the right direction. So, a new day begins. I have no idea what kind of views there will be today. I will be happy if it stays cool. At least cooler than the last 2 days. This is not a shelter I'm staying at. It's a shelter that I stopped at for lunch. But it is a shelter I would have stayed at if I'd gotten the miles in that I wanted to the other days. It is the Jim and Molly Denton shelter. As you can see, it's quite nice. It has a horseshoe pit. I've never seen that in a shelter before. Back that way, though you cannot see it, there is a solar shower. A nice little dining pavilion where I had my lunch. The privy's that way. And the spring is a 1/10 of a mile south of the shelter. And that's where I'm headed. So I'm going to get water there. But this, a very nice shelter. There aren't that many views, so you got to take them where you can. Ray's rhino. Yeah, I see it. Not actually in the park yet. That will be tomorrow, but definitely getting close. Haven't had a boardwalk in a while. It doesn't go very far. You might be able to see the trail going upward at the end of the boardwalk. I'm about a half mile from the shelter that I'm going to, and it will be, when I get there, an 18.1 mile day. Quite a long day. I was able to do it because the temperature was cool, and for the most part the terrain was very cooperative. As it turns out, I'm taking a rest now, sitting on a rock, of course, because the last mile and a half up to the shelter has been an uphill. So I'm taking a little breather. But not a lot of sights to show you. In fact, no sights to show you other than Ray's rhino. Hopefully that'll make it into the video. It's mostly been hiking in the Green Tunnel. But as I said, with the exception of the last little bit, the terrain has been very accommodating. Parts of it downright cruisy, able to really stretch my legs and put the miles on. But 18.1 miles, a very good day. It feels like it's going to rain, so I'm going to hurry up and do this next half mile. And there is a possibility of showers off and on tomorrow, but that's the way it is when you hike the AT. Anyways, I will see you tomorrow. Good morning. I'm very slow getting out of camp this morning because it rained off and on all last night. It's not currently raining, but you might be able to hear raindrops falling from the trees. It'll be doing that pretty much all day. and the sky is very gray, and there's a possibility of more rain off and on. I have a choice between a shelter 10.5 miles away and another one 20-something miles away. I have been wet for the last 3 days, either through sweat or rain, so I think I'm going to opt for the short day. But we'll see. If conditions improve and I feel up to it. But if I were a betting man, I'd bet on the 10.5. A new day begins. An apple tree. Some of nature's trail magic. On a clear day, this would be a view. Probably a very nice one. Today, it is what it is.